question number 1 tells us to evaluate. Well, we just learned that evaluate, another word for evaluate is to what? Replace or substitute. Each expression for a equals 2, b equals -3, or c equals 8. So it's kind of like a puzzle piece, and you're going to notice I'm going to try to use my highlighters if you have them, and then we're also going to utilize parentheses. So question number 1, I'm going to rewrite the problem. Blue doesn't show up well, sorry. Let's try yellow. Question number 1, a plus 3c. And you'll notice that in the beginning they gave me 3 letters, but I only have 2 variables, so I don't need to use the variable b. So every a value is 2. So every a value, I'm going to replace it with a 2. And every c value is 8. So we're going to write every c value to be 8. Let's write that. A values are 2. Now pay attention, I'm putting it in parentheses. Everyone say parentheses. These grouping symbols help us with clarity. And then we have 3 times our c value, which we had is 8. I'm going to put an equal sign on the far left to show that the yellow line is equal to the white line. Okay, this was yesterday's lesson. Let me zoom in here. Tell your partner what goes there for the red. What is it? What am I trying to point out here? Talk to each other. 7 seconds. Ready, set, go. Class, are we going to add 3 and 8? Are we going to subtract? What are we going to do? We're going to multiply. So if you don't see an addition or subtraction, you are multiplying. Let's go ahead and multiply those. And this is the order of operations, right? 3 times 8 is 24. And then 2 plus 24 gives us 26 is our answer. Let's go back and write down what we did. I wrote down the problem. Write down problem. So this helps you process. Then the next thing we did is substitution. Substitution. And then in that light blue, then we did simplifying. And I'm not going to write down the directions or words that we're doing. So as you're processing the problem, you might need to do that. And that's how we did question number 1. All right, question number 2, AB minus C. Every A value is 2. So we're going to go bigger. Every B value is going to be -3. And every C value is going to be 8. Let's write that in. So we talked about your substitution should be in parentheses. Your B value is -3. You have that subtraction sign, and then C is 8. Okay, the common mistake here is students did not do parentheses, so they didn't know that A times B, so this is still multiplication. So that would give us -6. You're multiplying. You are not subtracting. That's why I went back to say that's multiplication. And then we have a opposite of an 8. So essentially that's just -6 minus 8. That's yesterday's lesson, right? They're both on the negative team. How many? -14. All right, let's go over this example of evaluate each expression. A is 2, B is -3, and C is equal to 8. We're doing question number 3. And in this question, I only see B and C, so I don't need A. If you have highlighters, super helpful. So the b value, we'll do green, is negative 3. Every b value, I'm going to put in here, negative 3. And every c value, I'm going to put in as 8. Oh, do you guys know why I picked this problem? Because it has a fraction. Teachers don't like certain F words in their class. Sometimes students don't like certain F words in their class. So every c value is what? 8. And every b value is negative 3. Did you notice that I put the replacement or substitution in parentheses? Everyone say it. You're going to get some problems wrong because you don't want to use parentheses. Now, do you guys know why I put the 8 a little bit funny? Ah, you know the secret. She said put it over 1. Excellent. Let's do that. The 8 does not just float in the air. It's in the numerator or upstairs. In fractions, when you're multiplying, you can just multiply across. Some of you guys know some more advanced techniques like canceling. And class, 8 divided by 2? And 4 minus 3? Is 1. So if you think about what we're doing, all we had to do is first, in yellow, we did a substitution. And then in white, all we did was a simplify. And simplifying is what we did in yesterday's lesson with order of operations. So now we're combining order of operations and substitutions. All right, let's go over question number 4. 4c minus b. So that means every c value I already highlighted here in blue is going to be 8. And every b value will be negative 3. So let's go ahead and do our substitution. 4 times 8. Remember, you have to do the substitutions. Okay, and you have the minus sign because that's what you have above. Then you do the substitution in parentheses. So the b value is negative 3. Don't forget to use your order of operations, which would tell you multiplication before you add or subtract. So that would be 32 plus 3, because this is the opposite. And this would give us 35. I want to point out that over here would have been wrong. You could see the word wrong. Is we did 4 times 8 minus a negative 3. And some students might be tempted to do this portion first, but that is wrong because you need to do PEMDAS. Every b value is going to be a negative 3. Yes? You guys did it wrong. A lot of you did it. Every a value is going to be a 2. I missed that part. And then every c value is going to be a 8. Okay, here we go. I have been telling you, use a what? Parentheses. Negative 3. Do you see it? Then the green, or a, is 2. Plus, the c value is what? 8. This is what we should have so far. Raise your hand if you have that on your paper. Good. I'll tell you what the mistake is afterwards that students are making. Okay, remember, the square tells us you have 2 of them. Negative 3 times negative 3, which is what? Positive 9. And 9 plus 18 is 19. 9 plus 8 is 17. Let me show you guys the mistake students are making. The mistake is students were doing this. They were lazy. They didn't want to listen to Mr. Ng. And so then they did 3 squared is 9, so they thought it was -1. But they didn't want to listen. Parentheses for the substitution. I think in soccer they even do that, right? Sometimes they bring up a card or something like that when they do a substitution. Is that right? To show that. Well, you need that in even in evaluating functions.
We love math, we love math, we love math, every time we divide, we already know the path, Then we multiply, all we gotta do is roll the die,